All right, I was looking at these this morning, thinking about them last night, and I forgot to do a couple things. I forgot to clip the barbs on my reproduction, so I'm going to clip these barbs back, and then I'm going to redo these burins on the ears, make them look a little more like this. And I still have room on the reproduction. Yeah, I still got a little bit of room, especially on these barbs. They're too long, and I was having a hard time getting in to this notch here to push down at the right angle because that barb was getting in the way. But once I clip that back, I can more easily do the burin. So I'll just redo it on both sides. It'll make the stem more narrow, but it's okay. So this is part 2, and it's not going to be nearly as long as part 1. No. So in the future, these notches, I got them going too high up this way. They got to go a little bit straighter in, and I've got to make sure that neck doesn't get too narrow. This one's got a nice wide neck on it. Okay, so yeah, I got room to mess with those barbs. I want to mess with this step fracture right there, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I just ground it last night with the Abrader. It looks kind of funny now. We'll see. I can always take the width down a little bit more. But it looks like I've used up all my chances because that edge is really thin. I had to take it back quite a bit, before I can really get to that step fracture. And the next one I'm going to leave this pretty thick down here so that these pop outs will look a lot better. I can get the pop outs, they're just not very big when it's not thick down here. Okay. All right, so here we go. I should look in the book too. Just to see the variation on these. Some of them probably have barbs that are pretty long, and it might feel like it's a shame to take those barbs off of there, but it's all right. Okay. It gives me a chance to thin these down even more as far as the edges go. Yeah, they weren't too picky about it. Looking at the artifact, they were not too picky about the edges. And there's no sharp corners on the artifact, so okay, so that's good enough. Yep. Now to redo the burins, let me just fix this. I need to thin this down a little bit. Okay. This one on this side is ready to go. This one was just a little bit too thick. All right, so here we go. Let's see. It's just a matter of making sure the direction of the pressure flake is good. Make sure the edge is straight. Okay. Make sure it's kind of dull right here. It still went off to the side a little bit, but that's all right. It's hard to aim these so that they go just right. This one went a little bit better. Yeah. So the real artifact is a little bit thinner. Yeah. The real artifact is thinner on the edges and thicker in the middle than mine. Mine's, it's not very thin on the edges down here. I thinned it out too much right in this area. Probably trying to get this nice and smooth, but I think what they did in the past was they made this nice and smooth with flakes in here from the corners. And then when they notched it, they also made large pop outs on the final notching. Yeah. So, yeah, so the thickest part on the real one is right in here across the neck and just above. So right across the barbs area and across the neck is where it's thickest on the real one. Yeah. And, ironically, that's the hardest way to do it if you want to notch it. It makes it hard to notch when you leave this area that you're notching into the thickest. That's the hardest way to do the notching. But they managed to get those nice pop outs. Probably with lots of practice, either with some kind of percussion tool or a pressure tool, obviously. But you can see the diameter of the tool or the width of it. It's not very big, so it was something strong used to do that. And see, this is all kind of wonky, this barb here. Mine are a little bit too neat and straight, but I'm just going to leave it. Now, the other thing that I need to do, or I think I might need to do, is get that out, but I don't know if, like I said, I can't see any good avenues of approach to get that out of there. other than trying to shoot a flake all the way from the other side, but that's way too risky. So I just need to work on being able to push these bearings off straight and not at an angle like this. So you can't really see it from the other side, just from this side. This one worked out better, this little bearing here. So all that's left is just to grind it, because the real one is all smoothed. Everything's smooth off on the base and on the ears. And at the bottom of the notches. Yep. Yeah, I was tired last night, so that's my excuse for those step fractures. I wanted to get it done and did it too fast. Yeah, I'll leave that in there. Okay, so that's good enough. Yep, there you go. That's it.